Eric here with the Closet Doctor. I'm in my RV. My wife and I just got back. We were on about a 3-week trip in this, and we made several improvements that I wanted to share with you. And so I'll just walk you through some great things you can do in your RV. So this is our back bedroom on it. It's got a slide out on it. It has a queen size bed. I didn't realize this until after we bought it and had put the slide out and laid down on the bed, that due to the way that it closes, the mattress closes up against the cabinetry. It is what they call a short queen. It's 74 inches in length. When me being 6'2", it's a little short there. So is what we did, the solution we came up with is we need a little bit longer mattress. When the slide is out, we pull the mattress out a little bit, and we've got these 2 foam pool noodles that drop in behind the mattress that hold our pillow up at night. And so that gives us about a 6 inches additional space on there. It makes it much more comfortable for somebody that's tall like myself. Okay, another thing that drove me nuts was rattling. You get that in an RV, there's a lot of stuff moving around, but we've got this glass sliding shower door, and when we first bought this, you drive down the road, and this thing would rattle and make all kinds of noise. So the first thing I did was identified anything that moved on it. And so like the hinges and stuff like that up here, there was a bunch of little bit of moving parts. I don't know if they were actually what was rattling, but what I did is I just put you can see in there just a little drop of silicone on each one of those things to keep them in place and not rattling. Additionally, when it closes, this is a full-length magnet that holds it closed, but it would move back and forth in the track as well, and so I silicone that. Another thing I did on the shower door is we took out, when it moves back and forth, it rattles there. So I just got a little bit of Kaizen foam here, and when we're underway, I just go ahead and push that in and slide that in there, and it keeps that door from moving back and forth. Pretty much eliminated most of the rattling, any rattling in the noises from the shower. This RV is great. It's got the TV here, and it's on a mount, and it swings out, and it's open. We've got additional storage in behind there. One thing that I've had in the past with RVs is that there's no real place for paper towel. It's always out. I am a big fan of the center pull paper towel, so what I did is I mounted in the cabinet a center pull paper towel dispenser there, and then cut a hole in the bottom of the cabinet, and so when you need a paper towel, it's right there, but it leaves your countertop area clean. You don't have it sitting out. And then the great thing about the center pull is you get a lot of paper towels out of it, much more than you get out of the household type paper towel. So nice out of the way. Another thing that we did, you know, when you got a big countertop like this, it's a safety issue. You don't want anything just sitting here, because you know, you go around a corner or stop real hard, it ends up on the floor. It could actually be a projectile and be dangerous. So one of the things, you know, we've got the pump soap that we use washing our hands and doing dishes and things like that. And before we'd keep that underneath here, so it'd be underneath here. You'd have to pull it out, you know, squirt it, wash your hands, put it back, and it just didn't work out. So a simple solution to that in both here and in the bathroom is just a small dot of Velcro on the back of that, a small dot of Velcro on the wall there, and when you put it there, it's there. It's not going to go anywhere when you're traveling. Another thing I've done with an RV, you end up with a couple of different keys. You've got your ignition key. Looks like I've got a spare ignition key on there. I've got a compartment key. I've got the outside door key, and I have my trailer key. And so what I did is I separated those on 2 rings. So anytime I leave the RV, I take this one. It's got the key lock on it. When I get back in the RV, I hang that key on this hook right here, right by the door, so it's always there. This key here I always leave in the ignition or just in the cup holder when I go somewhere, so that's there. I'm not carrying a big old wad of keys in my pocket. Additionally, is what I did, and I'll show you this in a minute, is I put a label on here, just because sometimes you don't use something for a while, you come back. I put a label on here. These are the house keys. And the outside compartments, I put a note on there that when they're in the horizontal position, that they're locked. And so let me show you that next. A couple of things I've done with labels. First off, it came, you know, I bought this. It had these 3 switches here. One runs the outside light, one runs the inside light, and one runs the awning. There was no label on there, so every time you'd touch it, you had to figure it out. Put a label on there, simple, outside, inside, awning. Additionally, it's got a battery disconnect on it. And when we bought it, it wasn't working. We had an issue in the back. Turns out that there's a breaker that I put in the back, and so I put this as the battery disconnect, so that we can turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. And then I also put there is a disconnect for that breaker underneath the rear bed, so if it's not working, I know where to look for it. Like I said, sometimes you're not using something for a long period and you're like, oh, where is that? I'll forget about it. And so now it's labeled and it's right there. Additionally, with the label, I've got a checklist for the slide. That way when I'm getting ready to put it back in, the switch is right here. I've got it. Make sure that the driver's seat's upright, that the bunk is clear, the dinette's clear, and the floor is clear, so that when I'm bringing it in that I don't forget anything. And so it's there as a reminder. I make a visual check of those 4 items, and then I'm clear to put the slide in. Back to the rattling issues. We found that we thought it was coming a lot from the shower, and we fixed that and we still had it. It turns out that the microwave, the way that the microwave mounts to the wall, it kind of rattles back and forth. And so a simple solution for this, I went out in my shop and I got a piece of melamine that I had there, and I cut just a little strip in there, and that's just an interference fit. I put that in there and it holds the microwave a little bit tighter, doesn't allow it to bounce down. Greatly reduced the amount of noise we had coming from it. Okay, on the outside of most RVs, there's lots of different compartments. Mine has got both a manual lock on them, and each one also has a key lock. When I originally got this, some of the manual locks would be locked in the vertical position, and some of them would be in the horizontal position. The same thing with the key lock, the key position. Some of them would be locked and it would be in the vertical position or the horizontal position. So what I did is I went and I took all of those locks apart that didn't match. And you can do that just right here on the back. You undo it, you can reposition it. And I set it up to where when all of the manual locks are in the horizontal position and all of the key locks are in the horizontal position, that they are locked. And that way it's a visual thing, and I can look at it and go, it's locked. I don't have to go and touch it. Even when I'm putting it away, I don't have to remember, is this one horizontal or is this one locked? And so it just made it nice and simple. 2 additional improvements that we made. We found that the first couple of times we used this RV, that this area here, the couch area, and it could be a little bit dark. And so I took it to my friend's Harp's RV, and I had them installing a skylight, and it's similar to what's in my shower. Added a great deal of light in there, and big help. Really enjoyed that. The other thing I did is the window in the door. I'm a big fan of having a window in the door. I had a previous RV that didn't have one. We put one in. This had the obscure bathroom type glass in it, and we took it out and went with a shaded glass. And the reason I did that is, one, adds a little bit more light, you can see out, but when you're driving, so you're in the driver's seat driving along and looking at things, you check your mirror, and then it just gives you that opportunity to look out and be safe when you're changing lanes and stuff like that. It eliminates that blind spot. So really simple, easy fix. A cheap piece of glass that they order for that, and you unscrew it and put it in, makes it real good. The skylight was a little bit more involved, but it really adds a lot of light to the living space. So that it's brighter during the day when you're in here. Downside on it is that sometimes at night, if you got a street light or something like that where you're parked, that it can be a little brighter in here if you get people on the couch trying to sleep. But other than that, overall, great improvement. And there you have it. That's just a few of the improvements that I made on my RV during this trip. Hope they're helpful. Thank you.